All right, today we're going to dig into a really powerful idea, and it's this. The key to helping our students truly succeed, well, it isn't just found inside the school walls. It's all about the vibrant community that surrounds it. So let's explore how we can build those absolutely crucial connections.
It's a question that puzzles just about everyone. Educators, parents, community leaders. We give them the same resources, the same teachers, the same curriculum. So what's the deal? What really makes the difference?
Well, it turns out the answer is often hiding in plain sight, just outside the classroom door. It's all about the connections, or sometimes the lack of connections, between a kid's home, their school, and their community. When these three work in sync, wow, something truly amazing happens.
We've all heard that saying, it takes a village, right? Well, it is so much more than just a nice phrase. It's a fundamental truth about how kids develop. A child's world is this whole network of interconnected systems, and guess what? They all play a part.
Think of it kind of like a support structure for a building. When the family, the school, and the community are all lined up and talking to each other, they create this incredibly strong foundation for a child's well-being, not just academically, but socially and emotionally too.
So to really get our heads around this, we can use a special kind of map. It's a theory that helps us visualize all the different layers of influence in a child's life, from their immediate family all the way out to the society they live in.
Okay, so right at the very center, you've got the microsystem. This is the child's day-to-day reality, the people they see, the people they talk to every single day. Family, teachers, friends, these are, hands down, the most direct and powerful relationships that shape their confidence, their behavior, and how they learn.
Now, the next layer out is the mesosystem, and this one is key. It's not about the individual places, but the bridges between them. So, for example, is that parent-teacher conference a real two-way conversation, or is it just a quick report card handoff? See, that's a strong mesosystem. It makes sure a kid gets consistent messages and support, both at home and in the classroom.
Then things get a little less direct with the exosystem. A child might never actually go to their parent's office, but things like flexible work hours or a super high-stress job, you better believe that has a ripple effect on family life and, yeah, on the child.
And if we zoom out even further, we hit the macro system. This is like the cultural blueprint of the whole society we live in, our shared values, our laws, our social norms. This really broad context shapes everything inside of it, from education policy to what we even consider a normal family.
And finally, there's one more piece that cuts across all of these layers. It's called the chronosystem, and it's basically the dimension of time. Think about it. Big life events like a divorce or a family moving, or even major historical moments. They change the entire system for a child as the years go by.
So what's so cool about this slide is how it pulls it all together. You can literally see the child right there in the middle, surrounded by these expanding rings of influence. It's such a great reminder that a child doesn't just exist in a bubble. They're part of this complex, deeply interconnected world.
Okay, so we've got the map. Now what? Well, here's the exciting part. Every single one of those layers we just talked about is packed with resources, with assets, just waiting for us to tap into them.
And we can kind of break these community assets down into four main buckets. You've got corporate involvement from businesses. You've got natural resources, the actual physical places around us. You have people resources, and this one's huge. And of course, material resources.
Let's look at a couple. So on one hand, you have businesses getting involved, maybe with funding, or by creating family-friendly policies that let parents be more present. And then on the other hand, you've got our natural physical resources. Parks, libraries, museums, even the local fire station. These can all become incredible hands-on learning labs for kids.
But honestly, maybe the most valuable asset of all, it's the human one. The skills, the stories, the life experiences of the people living right there in the community. It's an absolute goldmine for education.
I mean, just think about it. A local artist coming in to do a workshop. An elder sharing stories about what the town used to be like. A local business owner mentoring a high schooler. These folks bring learning to life in a way a textbook just can't.
So this all sounds amazing in theory, but how do you actually do it? How do you make it happen? Well, you need a plan. So let's walk through a really clear step-by-step blueprint for building these powerful community bridges.
It can definitely feel a little overwhelming at first, but the process doesn't have to be. Really, it all starts with just one single intentional step. So let's take a look at the blueprint.
See? This structured four-step approach is your key to success. First, you figure out the real needs.
Then you go exploring to find the right partners. After that, you create a crystal clear action plan with them. And finally, you do it, and you check back to see if it's actually making a difference.
And that first step, identifying needs, is so important because it's not just a guessing game. As you can see here, it's about collecting actual information. You can use surveys to just ask families what they need. You can look at community data to get the bigger picture. And you can just talk to local leaders to find out what resources are already out there. This makes sure your efforts are targeted and effective right from the get-go.
So why go through all this trouble? Because the impact of this work, it goes so far beyond just one field trip or a single donation. It creates this lasting ripple effect that actually makes the entire community stronger. At the end of the day, this is the goal. To build a foundation so solid that every single child knows without a shadow of a doubt that they are part of something bigger, that a whole community is invested in them and has their back. Really, what we're talking about is weaving a safety net. It's about creating this seamless system of support that just gets rid of obstacles, whether they're academic, social, or whatever, and opens up a whole new world of opportunities for every single kid.
So I'll leave you with this question. It doesn't have to be some huge, complicated program. What's one small bridge you can build, one conversation you can start tomorrow that will help strengthen the village for a child in your community?